broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide
from the sunny beaches of Southern California.
This is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
Hi, this is the Health Ranger, Mike Adams from naturalnews.com, and I'm listening to Justin and Kate on Extreme Health Radio. Tune in every day for awesome shows that will empower you to change your life.
Well, Baby Kate, how was Thanksgiving?
Baby Kate.
Baby Kate.
That'll never not be funny. It was great.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, as I said in our free-for-all last Friday, the highlight was when my mother and father busted out their ukuleles after dinner and serenaded us.
A little concert.
If you can believe that.
Oh, my goodness.
The things you never think you'd see your parents doing at a holiday function.
I know, right?
It was great.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this special show. This is going to be episode 346, and we have Reed Davis on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you have any health issues, health challenges, can't figure out why you have certain issues going on, things that are seemingly unknowable or some, you get mysterious diseases or any kind of thing like that going on with your health, you're going to want to listen to this because Reed Davis is going to be great. So this is episode 346, Cyber Monday. Is that what they call it?
Correct.
Golly.
Cyber Monday, December 1st, 2014.
You know where we were not this morning?
Where were we not?
Breaking down the doors at Walmart, trying to
we were not.
wrestle people to get in there and try to figure out how to buy a trinket.
No thanks.
So, yeah, this Cyber Monday, this is, was it December 1st?
Yep, 2014.
Can't believe how time is flying, isn't it?
I know.
Amazing, amazing. So if you guys would like to join us, we do our shows live 2 days a week on Monday and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time at extremehealthradio.com/live. If you want to join the live chat room and make some friends and get your questions answered, you can do that 9 a.m. Pacific. And then also today we have another show at 11:30 today with Adam Bergstrom. That'll also be live after we're done with Reed Davis, so make sure to stay around for that. And Reed Davis, very interesting guy. I originally got turned on to him from our friend and former guest, Sean Croxton, who's also down in San Diego area. And I think he was episode 13 or 19 or something. We'll put a link to that, to Sean's show, in the show notes here for this episode 346. But he is the founder and director of the Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. Now, his website is functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, and he helps people with their hormone levels, come up with the diagnostic testing for people to figure out what in the heck is going on their health. And so it's just an honor to be here today, and he's helping people from thousands of people around the world doing the work he does. So thank you so much, Reed, for being on the show today.
Thank you, Justin. I'm really pleased to be here. It's another fantastic day in Southern California.
I know, right?
And Kate, thank you for reminding me. Believe it or not, my dad used to sing us to sleep with the ukulele.
Did he really?
Honest to goodness, it's so weird, yeah.
I love it.
That is so cool.
You don't hear that every day.
Yeah, when we were little kids, it was just wonderful to remember that. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
And today in California, we had a little storm here. It dipped all the way down to 65 degrees.
Oh, yeah, it's so cold out there.
Our first big rain of the season.
So you're down in Southern California, I think we're talking about before the show, right? San Diego.
San Diego. Right down there next to Sean Croxton, who you mentioned, a good buddy of ours.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so has your center been down there? Have you been there for the entire duration of setting up your business?
Oh, I've been here 30 years. I'm originally Canadian.
Oh.
And I came down here, and I was in the environmental law field for a long time. And then I switched to, because I realized how bad the environment was getting and what it was doing to people's health. So I started studying environmental damage to our bodies, and that set me off on a whole new trip. So I'm very pleased to be here and try to answer any questions you have or contribute in some way to people's health.
That's awesome. Now, I have to ask you, are you concerned at all with being on the West Coast like we are with Fukushima?
Yeah, I am. I think it's ubiquitous. Radiation is an issue. There's little things you can do to kind of counter that to some degree, but there's we're not sure what the long-term effects are going to be, but they're probably not going to be good. So you can get concerned, but not overly concerned.
Yeah.
Still go out surfing?
Not moving.
Do you go in the water much?
I don't go in. I have a swimming pool of my own. I swim as often as possible, but I don't go to the beach a whole lot here in Southern California. I like going to Hawaii and other places. Hawaii is probably actually worse, but yeah, I'll go in. I like to get my feet in the sand.
Yeah, it's interesting about Hawaii because we talked to the people that create or the manufacturers and the creators of the astaxanthin, and they were talking about the currents in the ocean somehow is taking the radiation to the north of Hawaii, and so that made us feel good because I'm like you, I love Hawaii.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, you and I, we live in Southern California, which is a vacation spot for most people. Mm-hmm. But where do we go?
Right,
I know, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. And so, how did you get started? You said you started doing some initial research in the field of environmentalism and things like that. Is that the segue that you made into what you're doing now?
Yeah, exactly. I was a graduate of University of San Diego's environmental law program, and I worked actually in environmental law area, a lot of recycling and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's laws involved that made that a very popular thing to do. And now it's everyone's recycling, and I was obviously shocked at the amount of chemicals that were allowed to be in the environment. There's over 80,000 that have unproven effect. In other words, very few have been tested for safety. So basically, we're the test. Mm-hmm. We're the rats in the test, and it's not looking really good. Yeah. So I started looking at the effects in the body, and I am a good researcher. And I had a job. I lost that job. I was looking for something cool to do, and I said, I'm going to work on people's health, and it's something I'd always been interested in anyway. I study acupuncture and a lot of different things like that. So I took some classes in nutrition, got certified as a nutritional therapist. I started working in a wellness center. I, within a week, was running the place. And, we had doctors there, chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, and different modalities and things. And I was pretty much the nutritionist. And so because I was also the case manager, in other words, everyone that walked in the door had to see me. I got to talk to them about their health issues. And I found that they were going from practitioner to practitioner to practitioner, not really getting a lot of help for some of these chronic stress-related conditions. And so I said, you know what, somehow, some way, and I didn't know how at the time, I'm going to be the last guy they have to see for their health problem. And that became my sort of mantra. And, I just didn't want them having to flop around from this guy and that guy and this lady and that lady, whether it be medical or some modality or, oddball thing. This is Southern California. So people were seeing a ton of different practitioners. They're caught in a cycle of trial and error. I said, you know what, there's got to be a way to figure out what's really wrong with people. And so because I'm just the kind of guy, I call the owner of the local functional medicine laboratory, and meet with him and his staff and his scientists and researchers and I started running a lot of labs on people. I was in a great position to do that.
Yeah.
And I found a way to do very high volume of that kind of work. So it led me to make a lot of observations of my own, and that's a long time ago. But so now I teach this course in functional lab work and natural protocols. But it's been 15 years, and I'm still learning, to tell you the truth.
Wow, that's so cool.
It never ends. Reed, may I ask you a personal question? Did you have any health challenges yourself that really got you interested in this in the first place, or?
Oh, I got to tell you, I'm 61 years old. I grew up in the 60s and 70s as kind of a hippie, and And also I played a lot of sports and I beat the living heck out of my body. In an earlier time, I worked around a lot of chemicals and things like that. So, yeah, I have to say, Kate, that I have been really, really hard on my body. I wish I knew then some of what I know now. I wouldn't have done that stuff, or at least I wouldn't have done so much of it.
Wouldn't we all agree with that?
Yeah, so, no, I was really hard on my body. I've had, 15 motorcycle accidents.
Oh.
So physically and then chemically and other ways, yeah, I was hard on my body.
Wow.
So I'm still working on it, but I feel great. I'm 61. I feel amazing.
Nice.
That's incredible, because you could see with that many motorcycle accidents, you would really mess up the structure of the body, the spine, and the alignment and all that. And so that's.
Yeah, no doubt.
What is, for those that don't know, this whole term, FDN, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, is a term that you coined and came up with. What is that exactly?
Yeah, it's a good question. I had to call what I was doing something. After a while, I realized I was one of the only guys doing that, real sort of critical scientific intake, looking only at causal factors. In other words, I did not want to just treat the symptoms. And so the doctors, I'm not a physician, so I can't diagnose and treat any specific condition. And I found out I don't really want to. I just want to identify what's really wrong with people, whether it be the hormones or the immune system or digestion or detoxification. There's energy production, there's the nervous system and things. So there's dysfunction on a level that creates metabolic chaos in the body. So I realized very early that tasting symptoms wasn't the way I wanted to go. I wanted to find out what was wrong. And I started running lab work on everybody, thousands of people. And the doctors who were practicing this in the early days, they started calling themselves functional medicine. Well, I didn't like the term medicine. And so because I was a nutritional therapist, I just called it nutrition. So functional nutrition. And that's actually a phrase being used a lot today. But I threw the word diagnostic in there because even though our protocols are all holistic behavior based, it's diet and rest and exercise and stress reduction and supplementation and those kind of things. So it's a very holistic behavior program, but it's totally guided by laboratory work, or almost. Totally. So it's very much guided by lab work. So I put that in there, diagnostic. So it's not diagnosing and treating diseases like putting a label on something and here's your pills like a lot of medicine is, just to relieve the symptoms. But there is diagnostics in there. It's kind of like you diagnose a computer or a car. What's actually wrong and how do you repair what's really wrong. So functional diagnostic nutrition. I don't know. It popped out of my mouth one day.
I love it.
And stuck, yeah.
Yeah, that's just cool.
We have 1,500 people practicing it, so it means something.
That's awesome. Yeah, our friend Sean, our mutual friend, that he was telling us that, and he's mentioned this on a show too before, that I think he started out doing personal training in the gym and had a lot of people that weren't getting results just with the physical side of lifting weights and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until he took your course that he was actually able to help people and get results for people, because they had stuff that just couldn't be fixed with, fitness and going to the gym and lifting weights and things.
You're right. Yeah, Sean has talked a lot about diet and exercise being great and, of course, critical. But we know that people who are on perfect diets, they still have a lot of health issues, some of them. And there's a lot of what my other buddy Paul Chek says, there's a lot of fit, unhealthy people. So they work out a lot, but they're really not healthy. So diet and exercise are great, but sometimes they're not enough.
Yeah, these people they're the people that you see on the magazine covers. They got the six-pack abs. They look awesome, but they're not healthy, some of them.
Some are not. So it's all individual.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And we talked to a guy last week, a Dr. Jeff McCombs, who does a lot of work on Candida. And it was interesting because he was saying the just traditional medicine, knows, in his estimation, less than 1% about what's actually going on in the body. And it's such it's a huge undertaking to figure out. I saw in your bio that they call you the Columbo of this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
It's funny. Yeah, I love that old Detective Columbo because he always figured it out, and he didn't look real bright, maybe like me, but he would figure, so it's kind of the Sherlock Holmes thing, but I didn't want to be Sherlock Holmes. I think Columbo's a much more earthy, simple guy who just likes to work hard and get the job done. You know what was great about Columbo? But you got to be a detective.
At the end of the episode, he would stumble upon like a toothpick, and then it would be the toothpick that leads him all the way to what crime happened.
Well, the funny thing about that show, since you mentioned it, was that the audience always knew who the real killer was. It's the only mystery show or suspense type show like that where, because if you remember at the beginning of every episode, the audience got to see the crime take place, and then you watch Columbo agonizingly have to figure it out. So it was only every other show like that, police shows or whatever, you don't find out who the criminal is till the end.
Yeah,
so that's what was unique about Columbo. Anyway, that and his trench coat really
sealed the deal.
So what kind of things are the biggest challenges for you? Because I know that a lot of these things that you work with are issues that people have that people don't realize that the systems of the body aren't separate and everything works together. And so there's a whole cascading effect with certain health issues. And but for you, what are some of the more challenging things that you run across?
Well, the challenge now is to get cooperation from physicians who can order some things that I can't. Now, I have an amazing team and organization, very, very strong in, who are our partners with the labs and various companies. And I have a medical director who's an osteopath, and so we can do some amazing things. But speaking about my gang of I call them my gang, the certified FDN practitioners. And we're in 50 different countries. We have access to amazing things. But in the future, as far as the challenge goes, is going to be having physicians cooperate, and there being this very legitimate handoff between a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, someone who's basically not a licensed practitioner, but a smart person that's really helping a lot of people, and you can clean up around the edges of a lot of things that are wrong with people with FDN, with our process, our step by step. We look at hormones in the immune system, digestion, detoxification, even energy production, and the nervous system to some extent, balancing out sympathetic and the parasympathetic, these kind of things. Mm-hmm. You can do all that, and some people, their health is completely restored when they start behaving properly, following our holistic program, guided by the lab work. Really amazing things happen. People with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and migraine headaches and allergies and sinuses and moodiness, irritability and joint pain and muscle pain and you go on and on and on. These things can completely resolve, even when they've been medically diagnosed, and might even be at the time when you get started, managed by medicine. So people are the client themselves has to sort of be the go-between the FDN practitioner and what their physician is kind of monitoring. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate that. There's in my world, there's no us versus them, which is a common mistake that alternative practitioners make, is that, don't listen to your doctor, he's just going to prescribe medicine. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's saving their life, it's probably not a bad thing.
Right.
So doctors save lives. What they do is meet certain needs that I might not be able to meet. And at the same time, we're asking for the respect from the physician that, hey, we're meeting needs that you're not trained in. And the focus needs to be on the needs and not on really who's providing it.
Right.
So the challenge for me, because, I've been doing this 15 years, and I've been teaching for 6, and I've taught, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of practitioners to try to think that it's not us versus them. And of course, we have to get our clients up to speed with that, because some of them adamantly won't go see a doctor. And others, they're scared to do what you say because their doctors not educated in it and therefore kind of against it. You find physicians saying, oh, no, you just have to take your medicine for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Now, there's cases where that's true, unfortunately, but there's a lot of cases where it's not true. I mean, you absolutely don't have to take medicine the rest of your life, but as a non-licensed practitioner, I'm not the doctor, I can't really tell a person that. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is this true integration of meeting needs from our point of view, the holistic behavior, and then what is actually a real medical condition. There are things in some people that are just broken. And so this is what I've learned over my 15 years of working with one of the most brilliant people on the planet, in my opinion, Dr. William Bailey. He's my DO and mentor and medical director of our program. So that's a challenge, and I intend to meet that with just an open heart, open arms. All my cards are face up on the table. Here's what we can do. Here's what the client can do, and then there's maybe this handoff at some point. So what we're going, I'll just finish up kind of like this. Dr. Bailey says there should be one FDN practitioner for every 3 doctors. Well, at our local, we have 2 big, huge medical systems here, Scripps and another one, and they have thousands of doctors. Well, that would mean there'd be hundreds of FDNs working on the lifestyle stuff. And so, what we do is so compatible. Dr. Bailey calls it a holistic grounding program, which can completely resolve a lot of issues. I mean, just completely make people healthy and happy and all that sort of stuff. But if they do have a true brokenness, let's say, or like something, that's going really the wrong way as far as life goes, well, that's where a physician would be a good guy to have around, or a gal.
Yeah, definitely.
I like your approach, too, that we're going to take a little bit of a break right now, but
Sure.
I like your approach about how, just the medication, because although medication typically is a toxic thing to the body, if it's keeping somebody alive long enough for them to figure out what the root cause is and then get off of it, then like you said, it's not, it's not this demon that we all need to fear, but in general, it's probably good not to be on it for a long period of time. But yeah, I like your approach to that. We're with Reed Davis, and if you want to check out his website, it's really cool. I'd highly recommend you check that out. Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.com. And this is episode 346. And when we come back from the break, I want to ask Reed about maybe some other dietary issues that people have. Not issues, but styles like Ayurvedic medicine or paleo versus, veganism and things like that.
Interesting.
Then also how it works with, if someone wants to go figure out what their health challenges are and get their blood test, what's the process like? What blood test they get? Yeah, all that kind of good stuff. So this is episode 346 with Reed Davis, and while we're at the break, you can go check out his website, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, and we'll be right back right after this break. Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it if you have a cold or flu. It's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great. It's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercury all that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far-infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat, because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
The sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans, because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done and wipe the neck down. And it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm, and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal, because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
All right, we're having a great time here with Mr. Reed Davis from Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.com. Really great website, offering some great things. And if you are listening to this and you're interested in becoming a practitioner, we'll get into that at the end of the show too. That's something Kate's thinking about here too. So
totally.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, it really stuck out to me. We'll talk about that later.
I just want to let everybody know too that for that sauna that we just ran the ad for, we are doing a $75 off deal going on right now for this whole Cyber Monday thing that goes on until 11:59 p.m. tonight. And you can see that on our Black Friday page if you're interested in getting $75, not 75%.
Oh, gosh.
No.
Can't promise that. Can't promise that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too good.
No.
$75 off. So if you want to check that out, that's extremehealthradio.com/Black Friday. You can see the deal there. But we're with Reed Davis. This is episode 346. Is that right? 346. And we'll put all the show notes of everybody he's mentioned, Paul Chek and all, and his websites and all these other people that are doing great work too. But Reed, I wanted to ask you about some of the different dietary principles and philosophies people have, because I'm sure people come to see functional diagnostic nutrition practitioners, and they may be following an Ayurvedic diet or a paleo diet. What do you do with people like that?
Yeah, fantastic, great. And I enjoy it. You guys are a riot. I like your music. And I have to tell you, I know Dr. Chris Shade very well, who did a little spiel there on the sweating. He's a smart guy. He and I actually work together, and he's a guest teacher in my FDN course. So, you guys, you know some smart people.
Yeah, he's great. He's
really great. I actually follow some of his protocol. You asked about diet, and of course, it's critical. What you eat matters, and if you eat the right things, you should be healthy, and you can't be healthy without eating the right things. So, but the issue for me is that it's not, there's no one diet that's right for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so, and one of the most popular things now is the paleo diet. Well, I would say that's great to eat. I call it an ancestral diet. Mm-hmm. If you could figure out how your ancestors ate 500 generations ago and eat that, you would have a chance. I mean, that would be a good foundation anyway. Right. And so the problem is not paleo or not, it's which paleo. Because, there's Eskimos that eat the way their ancestors did hundreds of generations ago, and they're perfectly healthy. But if you fed a 90 to 95% fat and protein diet to someone else, it might kill them. So, and it's the same thing with natives from, let's say, South America. Now, they can thrive and be healthy on 85 to 90% carbohydrates, complex carbs and things. So what's the answer? The answer is we're all different, and you have to then start breaking it down as to what are your requirements for you as an individual. Mm-hmm. And the closest that I hear being sort of bandied about out there is, there are protein types and there are carb types and there are mixed types and this sort of thing. It's actually called metabolic typing. Mm-hmm. And a very good friend of mine, his name's Bill Wolcott, he wrote a book, The Metabolic Typing Diet. Mm-hmm. And he has a really neat system. And so I learned to not reinvent the wheel. In terms of diet, what works is your ancestral diet. Now, one of the issues about that is that we're mixed. You're not pure anything anymore, hardly. There's Europeans mixed with South Americans, mixed with North Americans and things like that. So you have to be able to figure out how much protein, fat, and carbs. These are called the macronutrients. And what is the right fuel mixture? If you just look at that as a mixture of fuel, every day, 3, 4, 5 times a day, depending on your type and what your habits are, you need to fuel up. And your fuel, if it's the right combination of protein, fat, and carbs, the right mixture. Again, for you, it might be a little more fat, and for another person, a little less fat. Mm-hmm. Even though you're both, protein types, there's a mixture that works, going to work for you. So that when you, let's say, eat breakfast, after you've had a really good night's sleep, of course, you get up, break fast. You should be a little bit hungry, actually. You should fuel up. And the measure for me, guys, for whether that was the right fuel mixture is about an hour and a half, 2 hours later. How do you feel in terms of satiation? Mm-hmm. Are you hungry? Are you craving? Was it feel like something was missing? And if you're hungry, if you're not satisfied, if you're not satiated, it's actually called satiety. Mm-hmm. So satiety is a measure of whether that was the right fuel mixture for you. Now, another measure is energy. You should feel really still strong energy. If you filled the tank up with the right fuel mixture, you should be doing really good in terms of quality energy. Not the kind of energy you get from coffee, like where you're actually tired underneath and you're kind of hyper a little bit. That's not energy. That's not real energy to me. So good, solid, strong energy. And also, of course, you should be in a good mood. You shouldn't be cranky or irritable for no reason. If someone cuts you off in traffic, that's going to bother you a little bit. Mm-hmm. But if you should just otherwise actually have a sense of well-being. Mm-hmm. So if you're, cells burn fuel. And so cells are part of organs. Organs are part of systems. And there's all kinds of tissue and fluids that need to be fed. And this energy needs to be produced. And so that's why you eat. And the basic combinations of protein, fat, and carbs are really, really critical. That mixture is the basis of a good diet to me, because you will feel satiated, you will feel good high energy, and be able to go for hours. You might need to refuel sooner or later, of course, and you should also have a sense of well-being. So if you're missing something on those simple levels, then you may not be eating the right diet. And I don't know of anything more influential on health than diet. I mean, obviously the air you breathe and the things you drink and, all this stuff matters. Radiation. You start looking at the stressors involved, which are contributing to breakdown of the body. But, man, if you're not eating right and getting the right combination of protein, fat, and carbs, and we can go on and talk about other things that are need to be in place, but that's a good start.
We'll definitely talk about that. And Kate, I think you had
there was an interesting question in the chat for you. Read it. They want to know: is there different diets for different diseases or illnesses that are ideal for people?
Yeah, there are. This is something that we get into. Sugar, for instance, is going to feed disease and help break down your immune system. Anytime you're having sugar fluctuations, that's going to be bad for your health, bad for your immune system and stuff. There's anti-candida diets specifically where you lay off the, anything moldy, the fermented kind of things, vinegar and stuff like that. No sugar, obviously. And so, I'm not real big. I think if the questioner's going towards, this idea of acid versus alkaline, there's too much variability in individuals to tell what's going to make you more acid. It might actually make me more alkaline. There's certain foods that do that. So depending on the person. So, but yeah, there are some things like that.
What do you think about the Dr. D'Adamo's work, the blood type diet, and finding out what your blood type is? Is there anything to that, do you think?
Well, I don't follow that blood typing diet for reasons. Mostly, it doesn't go far enough. And but it is good to know your blood type, because there are what are called lectin allergies that are very common among certain blood types. So we have a list of those things, and there's certain blood types that don't do well on certain types of berries and things like that. So they're what are called lectin allergies. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's good to know your blood type. But I don't think the blood typing diet goes far enough. I mean, it creates these big categories of people.
Yeah.
People are more individualized than that allows for. And so if you get back to the energy production, cells don't need to be taught what their job is, do they? They're pre-programmed. So if you give them the right fuel, that's a good start. Obviously, you'd have to remove interferences and make sure nothing's blocking and energy production. But if you at least start with what we talked about, protein, fat, and carbs in the right ratios, you have a really good basis for a diet. And people can change their lives completely around if they eat a different breakfast. I've had people be amazed. Man, I can't believe, adding more protein. Or for some other people, it's adjusting the fat amount or carbohydrates. It's like how good they feel at 10 o'clock, how they're not craving. They're still working strong. They're looking forward to lunch already by 11 or 10, whatever it is. But, they're solid through, not craving, solid energy, sense of well-being. These are the things we look for. So I don't see that other system you mentioned going that way. It's like, here's your blood type, here's what you're supposed to eat. Hope you feel better. And I don't think that's, again, going far enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like you mentioned, the acid alkaline. Obviously, there's people doing a lot of that, the pH, kind of looking at your pH. And, I feel like there's a lot of people doing, some good work in terms of trying to figure out what this is all about. But it looks like what you're doing is going a little bit deeper, because when you have these sort of dietary things that create, like you said, large groups or pockets of people, there can be such variances within each group that it's almost impossible to make those kind of platitudes.
Yeah, you really need to learn for yourself.
Yeah. And,
people in the same families, brothers and sisters, are going to be, I have parents bring their kids to me all the time. One's out on the field, he's playing sports. The other one's a big slug. Right. Well, they're eating the exact same foods. It's fueling one person right, and it's fueling the other person wrong. They're just really sluggish for a reason. There's other things that can be going on, of course. The nervous system, like in your last in the break there, you talked about the sympathetic versus parasympathetic and how the infrared sauna stimulates the parasympathetic, and food can do that too. So food can stimulate the sympathetic, and you wouldn't want those foods if you're already sympathetic dominant. So if you're a real A personality, if you're in fight flight most of the time anyway, why would you want to eat the foods that stimulate that more? You'd want to eat the foods that would stimulate the parasympathetic, your weak side. And so, that would bring some balance. And you'd be amazed what happens to your body chemistry when you balance out the nervous system like that. Me, on the other hand, I'm very parasympathetic. I'm a laid-back guy. I get excited, but I'm not sympathetic dominant. I can have tremendous endurance, can work very hard, and sort of not. I'm more rest and digest versus fight flight. And so and it's just that's laws of nature. This is pure physiology, things we've studied. We know that you need to balance your nervous system, and food can help you do that too. That's another thing, by the way, about the blood typing diet that I don't see happening, that's not really talked about very much. So if you want to have a great guest on in the future, I'll give you Bill Wolcott's number. He's an amazing guy because this is his life's work. Now, diet is one part of our holistic lifestyle program. And it obviously is where we start. Our holistic program is, if you just looked at your 5 fingers and labeled them D.R.E.S.S, D.R.E.S.S, we call it, this is so successful, we had to trademark it. So my FDN certified practitioners can use that as their methodology, the D.R.E.S.S for Health program, D.R.E.S.S for Health Success. So D is obviously diet, and it's critical, but I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I just studied different diets, and just like you were asking about Ayurvedic or paleo wasn't around when I started, but there was ancestral diets and all the different things. I mean, go to the store, there's 1,000 different diets. Right. And not one of them is right for everybody. So when I met Bill Wolcott and studied his stuff, I said, well, that's going to be my D for D.R.E.S.S. The D.R.E.S.S program developed after years and years of putting protocols together. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel there. Now, the R is rest, which means sleep. I've studied sleep science and everything. You have to sleep. Obviously, we could talk a whole show on that. Now, the D.R.E. is obviously exercise. And I didn't have to invent that. I mean, you talk about Sean Crocs. Of course, it's critical. And by the way, when you're during the break, the guy said that sweating while you're exercising might not be the best detoxifying type of sweat. In other words, sitting relaxed in a sauna might be better. But guess what? When you're exercising, you're stimulating the lymph system, which is a huge detoxifying organ. And so you need to consider it all together. You can't throw more weight on, infrared saunas versus exercising versus a lot of other activities. So I think there should be balance in your approach. So diet, rest, exercise. And the 2 S's, one is stress reduction. The other is supplements. Now, I'll jump to supplements because you know how bad food is. There's very little nutrition, even in organic food. The reason you eat organic is to avoid pesticides and herbicides. Right. But you can't eat enough of it to get all the nutrients your body needs, the vitamins, the minerals, the phytonutrients, the trace elements, and all the things. So supplements are important. And backing up to that first S, the stress reduction, that's where an FDN can help you the most. An FDN practitioner finds hidden stressors and dysfunctions. Again, we really look at the immune system. Like on paper, you get saliva or urine, and you look at the hormones. So you look at hormones, you look at the immune system, you look at digestive markers. Are you really breaking down and absorbing your nutrition? So there's all these hidden stressors. and blocking factors. And that's where and then this holistic lifestyle program, D.R.E.S.S, works when it's guided by that lab work.
You got to have all of that put together, yeah.
You really have to have it all together.
Yeah.
Anything that isn't diet, rest, exercise, and supplements can be thrown into stress reduction. Just how sort of rough things are out there for.
I love it. We're going to take a little bit of a break right now. Kate,
Sure.
You said you had a couple questions.
Yeah, when we come
chat
back in the chat room, we have questions about the diagnostics, and how
nice.
that works.
Awesome.
So we'll
Okay,
get to
so
that.
Reed Davis, functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, episode 346, and we're going to be right back right after this break. I have to say, I have been absolutely loving this product by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar called Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong. If you want to listen to the interview we did with Tristan, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/127. And Qigong is a great way to de-stress the body. And as you know, there's a huge component to disease caused by stress. And stress is a huge factor in how we live our lives and the amount of energy we have and the amount of vitality we have. And so, Dr. Shade, what do you think about Qigong?
People come to me and they're really sick and they got this blown out neurological system and all this toxicity. And I tell them, you need to do Qigong, Tai Chi. You need to do these things that settle down and restore your neurology, because it puts together all the parts. It puts you back into that state where you can start to detoxify. And so I highly, highly recommend all that.
And what about you, Kit Campbell? What do you think about Qigong? Do you like it as well?
Qigong is amazing. And the reason that I believe it to be amazing is everything here is energy. That is a scientific fact, if there ever is one. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually drawing energy into your body. Your intention, whatever your intention is behind any action, will determine the level of energy, type of energy that you absorb into your body. So your intention behind is very important, just like thought. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually bringing energy in and you're bringing out the stuff that might be a bit stale. With Tai Chi, it's totally different. The energy runs underneath the skin because it's more of a martial. This is the Chinese understanding, by the way. It's more of a martial art. So Qigong is very, very good for bringing that energy into the body, and just fantastic.
If you're interested in picking up this Qigong course by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar, go to extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. That's QIGONG. And you can learn more about it. There's a great video on that page, and you can learn more about it on that page. And I highly, highly recommend this product. I love it myself, so go ahead and check that out. extremehealthradio.com/Qigong.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
Kate's heating up a little bone broth for me to take on an empty stomach.
I've been drinking it all morning. I've been embarking on a little broth fast today.
A little 3-day fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bone broth. I love that stuff.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's incredible for your digestion from what we hear.
I'm feeling good so far. I'll be blogging about it as I go.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're with Reed Davis. His website is functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, and we're going to talk about, obviously, near the end, where people can go if they want to enroll in the courses and start becoming a practitioner and learn everything that he's talking about, but also, how to take care of your own health if you have health issues yourself. So you can do all of that on Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.
And there's obviously links to work with practitioners. You can type in your country and find people in your area, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you that, Reed. If people want to know if there's FDN practitioners in their area, is there a little map or ways for people to locate people in their area?
There is. If you go to that website you've been mentioning, functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, there's a list of some of our practitioners in the practitioner drop-down list. You can drop it down, pick the country, and then you'll find who's in your state or your country. And you could call any one of them and ask them tell them you heard about FDN, and just talk. It's just really a discovery session. You won't be sold anything. The practitioner is going to interview you as much as you might interview them about if it's a good fit, depending on what your health issues are. They'll want to know what's your main complaint and how often it bothers you and how long it's been going on and what have you tried so far that obviously isn't working, and so on and so on, and have that discussion with you.
That's really
cool. And then
cool.
If you do some business, great. They're there, and they're highly trained to help. Like look at the underlying causes. They know how to do the interview and then offer services that would include running some labs. Guarantee you, if you work with an FDN, you're going to run some saliva and urine and stool testing, maybe some blood work for food sensitivities or something like that. But yeah, you're going to do a system that has been, there's no guarantees, but very reasonable expectations that if you look inside the body at what's really going wrong and what's not working, and then you work on that stuff for a few months, things are going to improve. Don't you think?
Oh, my goodness.
You would think. You would be sure of it.
We have a question in the chat room. Does he do, or I guess by he could be any practitioner, but Isby says, does he do mail-in orders for body fluid readings?
Or testing.
Or testings, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what is being asked there. And FDN is designed so that it can be done distance coaching. So I've had FDN prospects say, hey, I live in a small town. There's not that many people around. Is this worth my investment? And can I really help people? And I say, absolutely. The people around you know people who know people who know people. And so if you're working with a lady and her aunt or uncle is 1,000 miles away in a different city, you can have the lab send the person the kits and then send you the test results, and you can do all the other intake over the phone or Skype like we're doing now. So it's perfectly designed for distance coaching. So yes, ma'am, who's asking, you can get the bodily fluid test kits in the mail, and then you submit them to the lab, and your practitioner, you have to will get the results, and you'll have sessions, ongoing to go over those results, interpretation. What we spend a lot of time doing, Justin and Kate, is correlating test results with the person. This is a huge difference between my thinking and a lot of what I see being done in this world of functional medicine. People think just because they were in a lab that they're going to do the right thing. Well, not if you only treat the test result. I mean, this is, if you take nothing else away from this, functional diagnostic nutrition, what I practice and teach, isn't treating the paper. It's discovering, using the test, what's really wrong and working on that. And it's really an individual case-by-case kind of protocol. So the big mistake being made out there is, I already know someone who runs labs. And so, because the practitioner trying to help is going to say, what are your symptoms? And then they'll choose a lab based on those symptoms. And then, sure enough, pat themselves on the back. Your thyroid's a little low. Here's your thyroid medication, or here's your thyroid nutritional support, glandulars or something. Well, that's just treating the paper. You say, look, this is low, so here's something to take, some product to take to raise the test result. Or, look, this is high. We got to give you something to lower that. So that's treating the paper. Now, that's been going on ever since medicine started, lab work started. But that's not what we do. So it's a different type of interpretation where it's, what is the function, whether, again, the way hormones are produced and balanced in the body, or your immune system, or digestion, or detoxification pathways in the liver, something like that. This needs to be the function needs to be improved. The paper is just kind of an indicator. It's just a guide of sorts. It's not. We're not just going to say, here's your product, and then rerun a test in a month or 6 months or something. Look, we brought that result up, didn't we? And the person still feels like crap. So that's what's going on in a lot of the world.
Right.
And too that they become reliant on, even if they're nutritional supplements and support, if they're non-chemical based, they end up becoming reliant on those supplements. And if they're never able to really heal their organ, then they're always going to be taking these supplements,
Yeah, if when you stop taking them, you go back to the way you were. You didn't really fix anything. You were just treating the symptoms. And that's what frustrated me about the nutritional therapy that I was trained in. I didn't do it for long because people after a couple of months were, sort of quitting. And I said, you know what? This really isn't helping. I'm just selling supplements. So I got to find out what's really wrong. That's what led me to discover Functional Diagnostic Nutrition and develop it because I didn't want to be a vitamin salesman and I couldn't write prescriptions. Didn't want to, obviously, but could. Like I couldn't do allopathic, which is treating symptom. I couldn't do that, so I had to find out what was really wrong with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and are there any sort of general ideas for specific health problems? Because I know in your bio you talk a lot about bone density and detoxification, digestion, and hormones, and as well as immune system and things like that. But for certain people, I realize that the core of the program is going to be uniquely tailored to their makeup. But are there things like, for example, for bone density, for building stronger bones and preventing osteoporosis, are there strategies that sort of go across the board with people that no matter what their dietary program is, that these things will work for them?
Oh, Justin, that's such a fantastic question. And, there's a temptation to just treat that thing, bone density. But people with bone density problems have other problems. And by the way, as a side note, mostly you think about older women with osteoporosis or osteopenia, which is mild bone density problem. Guess what? They didn't lose a lot of bone. They just never had good bones. Huh. And I'm telling you, I've tested thousands, over 10,000 people. I have my own DEXA machine. I've had it for almost 15 years. And so I've tested thousands and thousands of people for bone density problems and really studied this. And I've seen people target their bone density and to try to improve it, and some have been successful. But if you find a 55-year-old lady with osteoporosis, I guarantee you she never had good bones.
Really?
It isn't that she lost. We aren't all given good bones. And then what happened to this person? You don't catch osteoporosis.
Right.
So you know what I mean? It's a lifelong thing about body chemistry and hormones that matter. And some of it is genetically induced, if you will, or based, but then diet and nutrition. So all these things contribute to the fact that you never reached a good peak bone mass. So all these women at 55 with osteoporosis, in my opinion, after having tested thousands and thousands and worked with them in the histories and the whole things, they just never really reached a good peak bone mass. So that gives you some insight into my thinking that, okay, you got a 55-year-old now with osteoporosis. Well, you got to start talking about reversing a lifestyle that never produced good bones, and so on and so on. So there's obviously ways you can trick. You can bring dietary, again, the D.R.E.S.S program. Diet is important for the bones and everything else in the body. Rest is important for the bones and everything else. So what I like to say, now this might be obscure, but we don't treat anything specifically, but we treat everything non-specifically. The way the body works is very holistic. It's like every cell is connected to every cell through fluids and through nerves and through energy. As during the break, you talked a lot about chi. That's very real. And so there's chi/energy. There's the blood and everything that flows through the blood, hormones and immune systems, and obviously the nerves are connected to every cell in your body. So you can work on everything non-specifically by following a true holistic behavior program. And when it's guided by our lab work, the labs are just clues as to where you need to go or what you need to do. So that's where some targeting does come in. But you just have to remember that we're not physicians. We're not diagnosing and treating specific conditions like osteoporosis or osteopenia or name another condition, because that requires a medical license.
Right.
And those people, they're there to make sure that thing doesn't go south. Doctors save lives, and that's a good need to have met if you're in anaphylactic shock, or they repair bone. I mean, if you have your forearm is broken and the bone is sticking out of the skin and it's bleeding, you don't go see a nutritionist.
Right.
So even in a good FDN like me, it's like go to the emergency. So doctors save lives. They can intervene in ways that I cannot. And they can monitor something in their way to make sure it isn't heading south real quick, where you could go, toes up pretty quick with some things that can come along and whack you pretty hard.
Yeah.
We're there. Yeah. And what doctors do, and this is a big difference between them and us, they will sort of give you some immediate things to get you in the ballpark, to sort of get you out of the hospital or, back home and rest, whatever. Well, that's the point at which I call it vital reserve. Every cell in your body knows what its job is, has an innate intelligence to work together with all the other cells. And so I call that vital reserve. And as long as you're still fogging a mirror, if you're breathing, you've got some. And now, in some people, it's so far gone, they're dying. They're going to die. There are terminal illnesses that are going to kill you. And so, so doctors are there to slow that down and manage that to some extent, and hope, they give a nod to vital reserve. But what we do is come in and we coach that vital reserve up. The D.R.E.S.S program, guided by some labs, is the ultimate vital reserve coaching program. We coach up the body's ability to heal itself and to establish a balance, homeostasis it's called, things like that. So we can coach down the anti-vital reserve factors and coach up vital reserve. And so that's a beautiful thing. And why I've always said we work together with a physician who's there to make sure things aren't turning south real fast.
I love that approach, and I think it's almost like coaching yourself out of a job, but it's the coolest thing because it sounds like what you're doing is you're educating the patient and teaching them how their bodies work and establishing their organ health so that they would never need to come back again and really just be on top of their health. And that's a completely different approach to the even the natural medicines. Getting people sort of hooked onto the herbs and to the products and to the nutritional supplements and things like that. Eventually you want to be able to live and not have to take these things.
Yeah, that would be nice. Supplements are going to be important for most people, but I do not have a supplement line of my own. I've been told, hey, Reed, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll leave it off the table because I want to be completely, purely independent and not have my own line of supplements, because then, your purpose starts becoming to, sell product. Yeah. And that's what got me out of that. And that's how I started, was with we had a certain line of supplements in the office. And one day I cleared the shelves. I sent stuff back and said, we're not going to carry anything anymore to have to sell. We're only going to do everything customized, individualized.
You're like Jesus at the money changers, overturning the tables.
That's a really good point. But your question, I don't know if I answered it or how much time we have, but I would just want to say that the question about specifics is a really good one, but the specific, like the symptom that you're talking about specifically, that can be very far removed from the underlying cause or condition. Mm-hmm. Because of, this is another huge concept that I think I bring to the awareness of people, is metabolic chaos. That's why you have a symptom. So there's a lot of dis-ease and malfunction, that's what I call metabolic chaos. There's stuff going on that is ending up producing a symptom. So if just tasting symptoms is not my game. Sure, I mean, I want people to feel better. It's okay to get a little relief care. Mm-hmm. If someone comes to me with hot flashes or night sweats, and you say, well, you can't say, well, it's going to take 6 months to sort out the metabolic chaos, and then your body will return to normal, and then you won't have the hot. People don't want to hear that.
Right.
Now, they might want to believe, yeah, I do need to eat better. I do need to rest. I do need to exercise. I got to find all the hidden stressors and eliminate them. But you know what? They want relief for that hot flashes and night sweats now.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can't offer that, then they're going to go down the street and no telling what they might run into that's not good for them or whatever. Or they only do that and they never deal with the underlying conditions. So you got to do a little relief care. A little intelligent allopathy is okay. But the underlying causal, that's what we're really there for.
I love that. And
love it.
I want to ask you too, just in closing up the show, Kate told you that story. I think, I'm not sure if it was on the air or off the air, but
it was off, yeah.
About how she stumbled across your ad before she even knew that we were going to be talking today, and she was really interested in your course. And I'm curious if people that are listening to this and they're looking to get into being a nutritional, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, what's the course like? What for them, and how do they go about doing that?
Well, it's absolutely amazing. What started, matter of fact, Sean Croxton was in my first FDN class ever.
Oh,
really?
Was he?
Yeah, he was the original 19 people.
Wow.
I mean, literally, that's how I started. 19 people in a live event. And now, over 6 years later, we have between 1,500 and 2,000 people around the world who are taking or have graduated from the course. So it's really grown, and the family's grown. I have 20 people working for me, delivering the education. So if you're a health coach, nutritionist, personal trainer, we have a lot of acupuncturists, and matter of fact, we're certified for professional development credits for acupuncture, chiropractic, of course, a lot of that. And of course, we've had a few medical doctors, a lot of family counselors too, psychologists, and these people who know that there's something going on chemically with their patients or clients. So we're really becoming popular for any professional, whether it's licensed or non-licensed. I certainly consider massage therapists and personal trainers and health coaches professionals, if that's your business. And I'm in business. So I teach people like that who want to help others how to look at underlying causal factors and use it's a tried and true, like time honored now, protocol. The D.R.E.S.S program has been so successful. We did have to trademark it, so only FDNs can use the D.R.E.S.S for Health Success system, or call it that anyway. Someone might be doing a version of it. So it's an amazing course. It's all online except for the time you spend with your mentor. So everybody gets a mentor. Everyone that works for me has just grown up from within the family of graduates. Every single person has graduated from the course and just kind of their head is stuck up above the crowd a bit in terms of wanting to contribute to the body of work and to what we're trying to accomplish. It goes back to, why did I teach that first course? Well, I was asked to. Like, Reed, the work you're doing is so amazing. It's helping so many people. Why aren't you teaching other practitioners so they can do it too? Okay, I'll do that. And then, so now that's what I do. I developed this course. It really is fun. It really is a community. And the protocols really do work.
That's awesome. And so how long is the course?
Yeah, it's you start anytime. You can start today. You can go to functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com, read all about it. You can click on register now. You can see some pricing information, the 1 payment, the 6 payment, the 12, whatever it is. Find something that works for you. You jump in and you immediately start working on the lessons, but also on yourself. You, as part of the program, have to run a couple test kits on yourself. It's the old theory of see one, do one, teach one. So you're going to see what we do in the lessons. you're going to do it on yourself. And then you're going to turn around and do mock-ups with your mentor, they'll pretend they're your client. So you get a chance to practice like that. Then you actually find a couple of real clients. And I'm telling you, my graduates, and I do a post-grad interview with every single graduate. So every week, I'm talking to people who just graduated from the course and setting them off onto the next level of support. We do a tremendous amount of post-grad support. It truly is a community, as I said. And so it's amazing how much they said the course helped them on their own personal health. And then they were already able to help a couple people because we have you work on some mock-ups and then real people. We're coaching every step of the way before you even graduate. And some of them, this is truly amazing, say, I've got 10, 15 people just waiting for me to graduate so I can run the labs and do the D.R.E.S.S protocol with them too.
What's awesome about this whole program is that it's a sort of an unfortunate thing, but with the GMOs and the way that our food supply is going and all these toxicities and chemicals and things, unfortunately, this is going to be a great thing for people to get into because I feel like with autism, there's so many issues coming up that people need help with. And, it's a good thing for people to have options and to be able to see people like this. But there are a lot of sick people out there.
Well, there's not going to be any shortage of customers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a matter of getting in front of people and talking to them. I just say, look, plant your flag and tell the truth. Plant your flag, tell the truth. And whatever you're doing. Look, if you want to help people, and if you're willing to walk the talk, and if you understand it takes some investment in yourself and in your business if you're going to be successful, and if you look at the world as the cup is half full, then you're going to be successful. And we'd welcome that kind of person into our family of practitioners.
I love it. And so the entire course, the duration of it, is it like a year-long program?
It's self-paced, so it takes 6 months. But if you wanted to go faster, you had more time to devote. We won't slow you down. We'll let you go faster. There's no and I've had people take 9 months or 12 months, although they're kind of lagging.
Truth be told,
we love you anyway. We love them up. Life gets in the way. But it is a self-paced course, and but once you get into it, people have zipped through pretty fast. But you remember, you're going to run labs in yourself. You're going to do mock-ups. You're going to run labs in other people. So there's things involved in. It's a transformational process. We're going to help you integrate this into what you do. I've actually had people come from other professions because they'd rather do this. Engineers, accountants, and again, there's we're just finding different sort of niches of people who want to help others.
That's awesome. And is it is the gosh, what was I going to say? I forgot. I blanked on the question there about the entire program.
Of course. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. We're working now on a lot of post-grad things. Me, I'm an organizer. I love what I do, and I want people in the world to be exposed to be doing their own self-care programs. Every person on the planet should be doing their own personal D.R.E.S.S for Health Success program. And they'll be happy if they do it, So it really is creating happiness and health, and that. So everyone ought to be doing it. Now I can't teach them all myself, so I have to deputize practitioners. And if you're a health coach, nutritionist, personal trainer, and if you have a license, jump in. And I've had people who were chiropractors, and they don't even do chiropractic anymore. They might have someone else doing the adjusting. They want to spend time with people to go over test results and get them on these the holistic behavior program, the D.R.E.S.S for Health Success. It's amazing.
I love it. Oh, this is the question I was going to ask. Is the course delivered via audio and video, or is it how's it laid out like that?
You can download the MP4 webinars. So it's me and sometimes my staff going over slides. You can print the slides. There's a guidebook. There's all that stuff that my staff over the years has made us add to it, and just to make it better and better and better for the experience for the person going through the course. So there's all this stuff, all the support. So you're watching the webinars, but you can watch them anywhere. You don't have to be streaming live. You do need access to a computer, but you can go to the library and download them onto your iPad or something like that, and then watch them on your iPad on a plane or while you're exercising or whatever you want. Now, we also obviously have the MP3s, so you can just listen. Once you've watched the slides, gone through them with me, you can just listen. You can listen over and over. I had one lady tell me that she was moving from, it was something like L.A. to Idaho, the middle of the country somewhere, where, a 12-hour drive, and all she did is listen to me all the way. I said, awesome. I hope you didn't fall asleep driving.
That's so cool.
I'm kidding, because no one does, because I don't read a script. It's not scripted out. Like, I've taken classes, and you can tell the guy's just reading. It's like,
it's horrible.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm very enthusiastic, excitable. It's pretty cool. I try to throw some humor in the lessons, and there's some anecdotal stuff that's pretty cool, funny. You can't get what I teach anywhere else, because a lot of it's my own observations. And I've had people say, well, I bet I could pass your final. And I say, good luck. You'll never pass my final exam if you haven't taken the course, because it's my observations over all those years of being a really good researcher.
That's love it.
So awesome. Yeah, I'm on your page right now, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, and then the practitioners page.
I am too.
We've got some people close to where we are, and so this is really cool.
Really?
Yeah, good people up there in Orange County. And but all over, you'll find some. Now, if someone went there and saw a practitioner and called them up or, emailed them, because phone numbers and emails are available there, and wasn't happy, look, it's not a perfect fit all the time. If it's a lady who's 60 who's got her issues, and she may not want to hire an FDN who is a personal trainer who's 25 years old.
Right.
It just might not be a good life reality thing, so you can always call headquarters and we'll hook you up with somebody. And the truth is, I also have my own people working for me. I mean, I take my own clients. And so, I like getting my FDNs out there, clients. But if you get stuck, or if you just want to, you can just follow the other path on that website, so that you could hire me, basically, and me and my staff. I have hired some of the people I wanted to, for whatever reason I chose. So we can match you up with someone really good that way.
I love it. Well, thanks, Reed, for spending some time with us today and letting us know about what you're doing. I appreciate that. This is awesome.
Justin and Kate, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, you're so welcome. Hang on the line there. We're going to close out our live show. And I just want to say what a great show that was with Reed Davis.
This is a pleasure.
Just a pleasure. And really great information going on at Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.com. So make sure to check out that. And we're going to have the podcast available for this show, episode 346, most likely by the end of today. So you can go on there and look at all the links that we talked about. And we appreciate that so much. And if you know of anyone who might be interested in this course, feel free to pass this show on to them.
Or in working with the practitioner as well.
Yes, you
Either
can go
way,
on there.
equally.
And listen to everything Reed had to say. And he's done lots of interviews all around the world, Hay House, and all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure to check that out. And we appreciate you guys being on the chat room. And for those that are interested, we're going to be back in about 1 hour from now with Adam Bergstrom, if you want to join us for the live show with that. And we're going to be talking about solar nutrition and sundial eating, I think they call it, or I forget what it's called. But
it's a great Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to join us for that if you're interested. And thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. We love you, and we'll catch you in an hour.
Appreciate it, you guys. You have a great week. Let me know how I can help you anyway. If there's something I can do for you, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Reed. And I'll be in contact with either you or your girl that set this up with the link. Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Thanks, Reed.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. That was awesome, though, wasn't it?
Oh, my gosh. I love it.
Mr. Reed Davis.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got a lot to break down, so we're going to talk about this and some of the specifics a little bit. We're going to run this little break, though, and we're going to be right back.
Would you like to feel more energy and a better sense of well-being? What's flowing through your blood makes all the difference. In my 22 years of nutritional practice, I've found that the food and supplements taken into the body determines to a large degree the amount of energy and happiness people have. One giant step in the direction of more energy and happiness is the type and quantity of protein you consume. 2 years ago, I was introduced to a whey protein powder that gave me more energy and a better sense of well-being. Having struggled with low energy, this was a welcome experience. This protein is called One World Whey. It is the first ever undamaged whey protein powder from grass-fed cows. People report the following: profound improvements in blood sugar and energy, elimination of pain, better bowel movements, detoxification, younger-looking skin and fat loss. Athletes love the strength and endurance-producing effects. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
And in my opinion, this is the best raw grass-fed protein powder on the market. It's developed on Amish farms. It's got 25 grams of protein in each single scoop. Crazy amount of protein. Increases your glutathione levels. It helps to release heavy metals and toxins, decreases inflammation all throughout the body, especially in the gut. And not only that, but it helps you build muscle and increase energy as well. It has tons of anti-aging properties. So really, really great protein powder. We like to use it every day in our smoothies. And our resident cancer guru, Ty Bollinger, what do you think about One World Whey?
Over the commercial there, you're talking about One World Whey. I want to encourage anybody that's listening, go to their website, go to Justin and Kate's website, and buy the One World Whey. That's something that we include every day in our diet. Every lunch, we have a One World Whey smoothie with super greens mixed in with it. It is fantastic. It's the best protein you're going to get. And as they mentioned, it's from grass-fed cows. It's organic. It's cold pressed. I mean, it is. You're going to get huge nutritive values from this One World Whey. It's the best protein on the market, I think. So then that's something that most people are deficient in, is quality protein. So I highly recommend you go there and go to their website and buy this stuff. It's the best that's on the market. And I'm good friends with Stephen Hewer, who is the owner of Synergistic Nutrition, and he's a quality guy, and they have excellent customer service as well.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. We interviewed him on episode 88, and he's just an amazing guy, and I really love what he's doing. That's why I love supporting his work and love taking his products as well.
Yeah, great stuff.
And if you'd like to support Extreme Health Radio and the work that Kate and I do, you can get your hands on this One World Whey protein powder that I love so much at extremehealthradio.com/whey. That's WHEY. Or you could check it out in our store as well. That's extremehealthradio.com/whey.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
Well, Kate, you look very intense looking at the computer. Are you finding out more foods that you're sensitive to?
No, I actually was checking up on a couple things during the break there. And I found an article on Facebook about a kid that we all knew that was in our church youth group growing up who just hit it really big and has a song coming out on a movie. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the guy from One Republic?
No, he was from church too, though. There's been quite a few coming out of this.
That church is just pumping out rock stars.
Man, this band's called Delta Spirit for anyone who's ever heard of it, and it's our good buddy Matt Vasquez, who
really
apparently is being interviewed on all kinds of stuff right now. So
wow.
No, it just kind of trips you out when you know people that come across in that world.
Oh, that's hilarious. Wow.
Yes, but back to Mr. Reed Davis.
Mr. Reed Davis.
My gosh.
I like that guy.
Yes, I cannot believe that happened to me at Whole Foods yesterday. I blogged about it.
Yeah, so let's tell people about it, because I think that wasn't on the air that we told him, was it?
It wasn't on the air. What happened, I wrote about it in my blog last night that I've been doing. You guys can get to it through Kate's blog on extremehealthradio.com. But I was in line checking out at Whole Foods and came across this magazine called The Wellbeing Journal. Never seen it before. Picked it up, opened to a page talking about histamine-laden foods and the problems that histamines could be causing to you. And I just had to buy it. So I bought it, brought it home, and was flipping through it and saw this really great advertisement for what was the Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.com practitioner course.
Right.
So I'm reading this thing, and it's cool. We were talking about Columbo and reading all that because the ad has a magnifying glass, and it says like something like, "Do you want to be your own health detective?" or something. Mm-hmm. And it stuck out because that's something I've been really dealing with, is feeling like you are your own health detective, not just advocate, but actually having to dig so deep to find out what the heck's really going on in your own body. And like Reed was saying, everyone's so specific, you know?
Right.
We all have such a different set of things going on that I really resonated with it. And then we get this email last night confirming, you know, today's interview with Reed from his gal who set it up.
Uh-huh.
And I click on the thing and I'm like, wait a minute. And I just saw
same guy.
I saw the logo and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
How crazy is
I
that?
had no idea. And that's how synchronistic things have kept happening
Isn't that
over and
funny?
over and over in my life. And it just continues to happen. So I was thrilled to talk with him and learn a little bit more about the program because I am interested in taking this.
Yeah, very interesting thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like what his whole approach too about how he's teaching people, or at least the practitioners, to educate people on how their bodies work and how they can overcome their health issues and things. And it seems counterintuitive because, like he was saying during the show, he doesn't have a supplement line. And so if he were to train practitioners to tell their people to how to get
have your
healthy,
people call my people. Just kidding.
how to get healthy and how to not need them anymore, you're essentially
Xing them out.
It would be
of
like
job.
you as a former hairstylist. I'll just call you, even though you still cut hair. But
well, thank you.
You're a former hairstylist.
Love
if you taught them how to do their own haircut, I mean, there'd be no need for you. So it doesn't make much sense. But it's because he knows that so many people need help, and his heart to help people, that he just doesn't really care about the other stuff.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool.
I love that he shared that so openly too. His heart is in a really good place. You can tell he loves people. He loves life. He loves helping people. And I really love it when people don't have their own product, Like, I mean, he has courses and things, but he's, basically like dividing himself into all these little pieces all over the world to be able to get more done and help more people instead of just pushing products and supplements. And
yeah, I mean, everyone does have something to sell in today's economy, whether it's books or information or how-to courses or anything.
There's no problem with any of that.
No problem with any of that, because at some level you have to be able to
survive
and pay your rent and make sure that you can help as many people as possible. So nothing wrong with that. But it was funny because I pictured him like Jesus in the Money Changers, with his supplements down in the lobby of his place, and
yep, yeah. He laughed too.
Overturning all that stuff, but
throwing the supplements all over the ground.
Yeah, I really like what he's doing, and it was cool that we got connected to him through Sean Croxton.
Great connection.
Yeah, cool.
Did Sean
stuff.
tell you that when we met up with him one time for a lunch down there? That's when he told you that he was taking the. So he was the first. He was the first.
I didn't know that
graduating class.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was in the first class.
Neat.
But that must have been years ago now.
Yeah.
And Sean's gone on to do all kinds of great stuff. He does a lot of the summits that we promote. Like he just did the digestion one. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/digest, you can see that one. And so Sean's doing a lot of great work with helping people and putting together information that's going to empower people.
It seems like a really great place to start. The very basis of I like Reed's approach to not just like most people that we talk to. Let's just not treat the symptoms. Let's be a detective here and figure out what's really going on.
Right.
Not to have somebody come to you and say, I have osteoporosis, but for him to say, wow, it doesn't, if you have that going on, it probably means that you weren't, built with the strongest bones. So I don't know. I think it goes so many levels deeper than we really know.
And I think that too, that we talked a little bit about this on our last Friday show, that if you're going to any doctor or anything and and you walk away from them and you feel a little bit less empowered, or you feel
completely disempowered,
or without any hope, then it's important to find somebody else, no matter who. In my opinion, I think this applies to no matter who you're around. If you're listening to the news or you're around certain people who make you feel like you're less powerful, I think you should go somewhere else and hang out with different people or choose to listen to different things. So it sounds like what Reed is doing is he's empowering his people to let people know they have hope and they can heal. And even if they have medically diagnosed issues, they can heal from these things, and so I think that's huge, because a lot of times you get these labels, and you just get a label and you get diagnosed with some disease, and then you got to either take nutritional things if you go to a naturopathic doctor, or you got to take chemicals if you go to a medical doctor, but still you're reliant, your body's weak, and you need these things if you don't have these things. But I think his approach is much more holistic.
I do too.
You know,
I do too.
So pretty cool. If you're in, I guess if you're on his website, you can look and find out if there's any practitioners in your area, which would be really helpful. We found a bunch near us, Carlsbad and Escondido and
Mission Viejo. You know, and if no one's near you, I mean, this sounds like the kind of thing that, you know, Isby was asking in the chat room about. Can you do stuff via mail and Skype, and you know, it's not a complete shutdown for people who don't have anyone near them. So distance work is also available. So. Distance work.
All right,
that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, huh?
Very informative.
All right, everybody. So this is episode 346, and if you guys could do us a huge favor, it really does help us a lot, and we're so appreciative to everyone who's been doing this for us. We see your reviews on iTunes, and it really does just make us so happy, and it really does help us in a great way. So if you're able to leave us a review, or if you want to share this show, episode 346, with your Facebook friends or your Twitter people, that would be extremely beneficial for us too. So those are a couple free ways to help support us. And also, if you want to support us, like if you're doing any holiday Christmas shopping on Amazon, that's a great way to support us as well. If you're already going to spend money on Amazon, if you go through our link, and then if you bookmark that link, that helps us tremendously. So we appreciate that. And then if you would like to support us financially, we would greatly appreciate that. If you'd like to send a donation in, the cost of the show continually seem to rise with all the software and the programs and the hosting. That would be really appreciated on our end. Or you could go to our store and check out our products too. Lots of great stuff on there, and you can find out all kinds of stuff from juicers and blenders and programs and courses and biomats and saunas, all kinds of stuff in our store. So check that out if you're interested in supporting us, or if you just want some really great things to help expedite the healing process for you. That would be awesome. That about it?
I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap? All right. We appreciate you guys so much. And we'll catch you on the next episode, right?
Sounds good, guys. We'll catch you then.
Hey, everybody. This is Josie, Justin's mum. Don't tell him, but I know he would absolutely be really happy if you would sign up to his free weekly newsletter. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. This is the buzzing bumblebee signing off.
That's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease.